Hey guys, RC here. All right, welcome back to the next video in the series. We are doing a video by request for the new Draft Day Sports College Football 2017. As I mentioned in the first video, I was contacted by Gary Gorski of Wolverine Studios to do this, and I certainly don't mind. It is unpaid solicitation. So I am giving my thoughts to some extent. I may do a in-depth review at a later time, but this was meant more to be kind of like a video owner's manual on how to get started and actually get into the game and do things in the game. This is not addressing online leagues. This is only for solo individual play. And at this point, we've kind of covered all of the options across the top. We've covered how to set up training camps, game plans, schedules, things of that nature. And right now, we're going to do the last thing. Now, recruiting in this game is a year-round effort. Okay. Now, I'll be honest, I have not messed with recruiting on my own. I have usually in beta, I let the computer handle it just because I was focusing more on just the overall gameplay itself and the ability of the game to function rather than looking at little individual nuances and figure out, individual pieces of the game. It was more just pushing to make sure the game was right. So now this will be the first time I'm coming in and recruiting manually. Now, first thing you have to do is turn off auto recruiting. I was drawing a blank on where I wanted to start here. All right, so we want to turn off auto recruiting. If you leave that on, then your computer AD will do all the recruiting for you. Now you'll notice here we have 218 recruiting points and 68 scouting points. I'll be very honest, have no idea what that means. I know what the points are, but I don't know how that affects me on a week-to-week basis during the season. So we'll learn that together, I guess. What we do want to do is look at, so we have 21 scholarships this year. We have signed none. We have offered none. And we have no recruits committed to us currently. Now, the positional counts gives you each position on your roster with a minimum number that you have to have, as well as the current number that you have on your team. So I only need 5 receivers. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to add these 3, 6, 7, 17, 22, 24, 28, 40. All right, so that's only 44 players, but we have an 85-man roster. So that's going to make for a very player-heavy roster. I'm not sure we need 85 scholarship players, but I guess depending on how injuries and things work out, that may be. I'm just, again, I mentioned in the first video, I'm in my head, I'm comparing this to the other college game that I have a lot of experience with, and I'm picturing how that sets, and I said I would do my best to not do that. It's very difficult, let me tell you. But anyway, so this is the minimum and your current. So don't be surprised. That's why I wanted to add this up. So we've got 44 or whatever I just said, but you have 85 scholarship players. So you're going to basically have double what you need for your minimum. So it won't be unusual to carry 6 quarterbacks, 5 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 10 receivers, 5 or 6 guards. That won't be unusual at all. But anyway, that gives you your current position count, and you can use that as an indicator of what you might need to be recruiting. The other thing you can do is go in, and of course, we're recruiting now for next season. So what we can do is come in and look at oh, here we go, by year, and we can sort out all of our seniors, and we can make note. So you'd have to manually write this down, but you have a defensive tackle, a running back, a strong safety, a wide receiver, a kicker, tight end. So you could make note of all the seniors. All right. I do think that's something that Brooks needs to address. It's a minor issue, but when you're sorting by year, you want to see freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. But alphabetically, junior comes before sophomore, so it reverses the sophomore and juniors, and that could throw someone off. That probably should be tweaked to where it sorts by class, not by actual year. A minor issue, but if you don't catch that, it's just jarring to look at when you're used to seeing, as a college fan, you're used to seeing seniors, then juniors, then sophomores, then freshmen, or vice versa. And to have two of those classes reversed. The RS, of course, means they have been redshirted. So these currently are fifth-year seniors that redshirted probably their freshman year. These seniors without the RS mean that they are fourth-year seniors that were on the active roster as freshmen. Same thing down here. Same thing down here with freshmen. So these guys are redshirted this year. They will not be playing. So Steve Bailey, let me just go look at my depth chart, and he is a defensive tackle. Defensive tackle. All right, so, oh no, Bailey is in there. So how is he in there if he's redshirted? All right, let's go back to roster again. Let me click on him now. All right, see there. So he's a freshman this year that redshirted last year. Okay, that's what that is. All right, it just took me a second. I was a little confused. All right, so we have the freshman that came in this year. Freshmen. See, I was thinking these were the guys that came in this year but are currently redshirting. I am guessing then that they don't have any red shirts. Unless, well, we haven't gotten to that part yet. Okay, so let's go back to recruiting because that's what I want to focus this on. So we looked at position count. We turned off auto recruiting. Now, I'm LSU. I know I'm a very prestigious school. I am not going to recruit any 1- and 2-star players, so I'm taking them off my list immediately. And then over here you have a drop down for recommended targets. So these are the targets that the game is going to tell you that have interest as of right now in coming to your school. Okay. Now, I wish there was a way to see who they were interested in, but there's not. But that's okay. So what I want to do then is, all right, I'm going to go down. I usually do it by position. So they're sorted out by recruiting. So I'm going to add 2 quarterbacks. I am going to add 3 running backs. I'll add 1 fullback. Yeah, I don't really care about those other guys. All right, we'll add 2 tight ends. Wow, not much receiver interest, which isn't surprising being that I've got 10 on roster. Let's see, I'm going to add 2 guards. I'm going to add 3 tackles just because that guy's still in the top 100. Tight end. Wow, did I go the, yeah, okay, I must have went up. All right, we'll go with 2 centers. Wow, so there are no punters. So if it's a 1-star, I'm just going to take a walk on if I need one. All right, I'm going to add this kicker. Wow, that's horrible. All right, I'm going to add these guys. Now, what again, I don't know how recruiting works in this game yet. So I don't know, let's say if I was playing with my alma mater, Louisiana Lafayette, low prestige, Sun Belt Conference, if they had this same list, even if these guys, number 18 in the country, were interested, would they even remotely have a chance of signing with you? I would say probably not. But maybe here you've got a shot. So, would you be better off looking at these guys down in the 5 or 700 range? I don't know. We'll just have to figure that out as we go along. All right, I'm going to add, we'll add 1 defensive end. I added a defensive tackle, I guess. All right, we'll go with 2 linebackers, 2 corners, 1 strong safety, and we'll go with 2 free safeties. All right, so there's now you can filter down by state. So, if you want to just recruit, I'm in Louisiana. If I want to try to look at all the top Louisiana guys, in fact, let's go ahead and do that just to see what happens. All right, so, I do have this guy. He's a 4-star, number 157, but he didn't show up in my list. Well, no, he is in my recommended list, but he was down, so there were a couple of guys higher. I'm going to go ahead and add him just because he's 157, but he's also in Louisiana. I want to make sure that I'm locking down, my state and not allowing anybody else to come in and recruit my talent. All right, now you'll notice as I added these guys, they're not all added in order. Or maybe they are. Yeah, and see, I think all okay. And I know Brooks is going to be checking this out. So Brooks, I think this is something that needs to be tweaked when you add the players in instead of having them stay in the order that you added them. If you do like I just did and sort by position, now they're sorted by position here. But this guy's number 2. He should probably go up to the top of my list as my top ranked targeted player. I think this should be sorted by ranking to me. But that would be something I would like to see just because it would make it easier for me to then go right down the list and assign my points rather than, oh, wait, who did I, I got to scroll down. Oh, I got to scroll up. So, you know what I'm saying? I think that's a thing that could be tweaked a little bit. That would be very beneficial. Now, we can assign up to 10 points in recruiting, and we can assign up to 20 points in scouting. Now, keep in mind, we have 208 recruiting points, but only 68 scouting points. So I don't know how to best do this. Again, this is new to me. So if I assign 20 points, then I can only scout 3 players. I can recruit 20 players, but I can only scout 3 players with a little left over max points. So do I want to do that? Where do I get my bang for my buck? All right, well, here's my scouting report. Everything is unscouted. He does have a high interest, a 92. Okay, so that's good. but my report only has a certainty of 1. So I actually have to recruit this guy to determine his interest. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do 10. But even then, I can only do basically 6 players and then a little bit on a 7th. All right. I do want to recruit this top-ranked quarterback. I'll go 10 and 10 here. And I want to schedule an interview with both of those guys. Let's see. 86, 73, 21. All right, let's go ahead and schedule him. And I'm going to cut him down to a 5. And a 7. $19. I'll do a 10 and a 5. All right. 36. 17. All right, so we'll do 10 points here, 6 points there, schedule an interview. All right, now let's, well, see, how did I get that? Okay, well, I guess that's what we'll have to, no, I don't want, I definitely want him to have 10. So where did those other points go? 6.
No, I don't know. I sweat. I really truly do not.
5. And now that I'm doing this, it would be nice once you start applying points, if you could further reduce it down to a recruiting review to, you know, the guys that you have points would be at the top, and then you could have them by ranking below that. 5, 10. All right. Well, no. So I've got 2 points left. I don't see. I don't know how that. I mean, it keeps changing, and I don't know why. Oh, this is why, because it didn't lock in.
Is that good? If not, put in good. If it's not good, put in good.
See, it was 2 when I had 5. Well, I'm just going to put 5 here. See, I don't know. I don't know what that's doing. I didn't change anything. I had 2. I had -5, and then I all of a sudden had 2, and then I raised him by 2, and then I was at 5 again. Wow, that was confusing. I still don't know what happened. All right, I'm going to go 10, 10.
I can't go to bed until I get those clothes off my bed.
10. You can't take those apart. 10.
It's not. It's a tree. You put treats in it for the dog.
10, 10.
No, because you mess with a lot of stuff and you get sidetracked. That goes on the vacuum cleaner right there.
So basically, I'm just putting in 10 points. And this is just random because I have no clue what this is going to do. And 3. All right. So now we have 0. There's nothing to save here. All right, so I've done my recruiting. I've used all my points. And again, I don't know if these are weekly points or total points, or if I get points back once a player signs. I don't know how that works, but we'll figure it out. So I've got 10 points on everybody. I've got scouting points on a few people, and we'll see what happens. So I've looked at my roster. I've set my depth charts, right? I've set recruiting now over here. And this is the big thing. You have to use this drop down and find your recommended targets. And then the game will give you, it'll decrease your list to only those that you have a chance of recruiting. I guess that's what that means. We've set their training agenda. We've built a game plan. We've worked on our scheduling for next year. That's all history. So we've done everything in here we can. We have no other emails to check, so we're going to go ahead and advance. All right, now this is our, well, it's highlighted here, schedule, but that's not what it is. This is our training camps, winners and losers. So we can look at every single team. I'm going to scroll down to mine. LSU. All right. So our cornerback gained 12 points. Now, 12 points in what? I don't know. I don't know if that's 12 to his overall. If he gained 12 points in here, down in these categories. Not exactly sure what that means that he gained. Oh, well, here's his progression. So his speed went up a little bit. Hands basically stayed the same. Intelligence went up a little bit. Actually, this looks like intelligence. That looks like strength went up just a tad. Agility stayed the same. All right, so it looks like that 12 might be an overall 10, 6, 4, 4, 0. So our worst players didn't gain or lose anything. Now, I do know, so here's a guy that actually went down 2 points. He went down 5 points, 7 and 8 points for Indiana. All right, so I would say we had a pretty good camp that our worst players showed no improvement. I think that's oh, now you heard that ding. That's my computer, but that's an error message that it can't go there. I've got to close this first. Okay. Now I'm going to hit home anyway, because for whatever reason, if you're on that screen, the screen does not repopulate until you've changed screens or refresh it. So not sure why. Again, that's something that probably should work differently. But here's our coaching staff sending me an internal email. All right, so Bailey, that's that freshman defensive tackle, absolute superstar. Herring, far exceeding anyone's expectations. Duncan, rarely have we seen a kid push his limits. All right, these guys are progressing. All right, so progressing at watching game tape, progressing in athletic drills, physical drills. All right, I don't need that anymore. So you notice that doesn't delete yet, but if I refresh it and go back to home, now that email's gone. Okay, team news, no injuries. Injury report, nothing. Transactions. Again, I think I mentioned in the first video when we went here, I won't use these a lot. I'm just going to kind of glance at them to see what happens. All right, now here's our red shirts. Now we're going to go to our roster. We're going to sort by position, and I'm going to sort by class. Now Jack Apodaca is a freshman, but he is already redshirted. Now this is where you could cut players as well. So if you have somebody that you don't think measures up to your ability level, get rid of them and free up, if they're on scholarship, free up that scholarship for next year. Okay. Or maybe this year. Let's see. So All right, so he's a 3-star. All right, but he's pretty low down here. I'm going to go ahead and redshirt him. Now, I know in my other game, just by the fact he was a 3-star, I would have like some definitive ratings, and I might be able to say that okay, he's going to be a max of 55, whereas my normal running back has a regular potential rating of 80. Well, I can't tell that because again, this is more abstract, not set in stone. So you have to kind of, you know, pay attention a little bit more. It's just a little differently. Okay. But I'm going to redshirt him and maybe he'll leave. I could cut him, but I'm not going to do that. Let's see. Good there. Good there. I may cut a few. All right, well, that was a break time for this video. We've gone through recruiting, which I'm really happy about. We've started redshirt, so you could at least see how to redshirt. But we'll come back and pick up here. And again, my goal here is just to get you guys up to the first week of the season, get a game simmed so you see how to do that. And then at that point, you'll know just as much as I do about how to get around in the game. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back for at least one more video, two at the most, I'm thinking. But anyway, we'll figure it out. We'll get as many done as we need. Thanks again for watching. We will see you next time.